Guys, it's Michelle, and we are ready to rock and roll. So it's our team meeting, and it's 11 o'clock, so we are going to start on time and roll with this. Okay, Victor. Victor brought us some goodies. I just wanted to say a couple things. Let's grab him. Is he coming? Is he coming? I already sent him off to put the food out on the table, but he was kind enough to share some goodies with us to see. He's right there. Victor. Okay. Well, Victor, let's all thank Victor for the food, because that was very kind of him when he walked in here. Hey, thank you. And so property inspection, so make sure when your next deal, you guys give Victor a call. Okay. All right. So please make sure you are utilizing the TCPA. You guys, I was at a meeting 2 weeks ago. $25,000 fine for that office. Wow. So you need to make sure you're doing this, even when it's given to you from a referral or something. I don't know. I would just be watching it. Just really be careful and make sure you are scrolling and checking this out. All right, tell me what's going on right now in your world. Any new listing and buyer? Anything? What? A loan program you want to share? Anything going on, Debbie, in your world you want to share?
Yeah, I've got a great loan right now. It's a refinance, but we do loan purchases too. That's completely stated. There's no income stated at all. Nothing verified. It's based on
it's a refinance or a purchase.
This one's a refi, but we have this program in a purchase too.
Okay,
and it's basically like just reserves, and credit score goes down to 660, but we can go up to 80% loan to value on a purchase, jumbo as well. And there's
so 80% on a purchase, and they don't want to see anything. You just need to see the
rate. Like you don't even what's that?
What's the interest rate like?
High nines, what I'm doing, but it's jumbo and it's a refinance. So you're looking at like mid nines, but absolutely nothing stated. So people that cannot verify any income, don't even have a job.
I think that reminds me of 09.
You've got to now have 18 months reserves on that. So that could be an IRA or 401k, that they've got money in that they don't want to touch. But
okay, so you do have to have reserves.
Yeah, you have a year and a half reserves now.
A year and a half. Before it was 3 months, right?
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah.
And this program was 12. They just changed it to 18. But if you've got a borrower that just cannot verify anything, it's a great option for.
Heck yeah, it is. And I can't believe how many we used to use. Yeah. But I'm glad the 18 months is there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's good. That's we don't want to go backwards, right? None of us. Anybody else want to chat about what's going on in the world? Anything new?
Well, we're excited to be in this office as a preferred lender.
Yes, we are too. Lucky to have you guys, so thank you so much. And you'll be here a little bit more often. You're going to be decorating soon.
Yeah, this
good things are happening. Yes. All right. So God, family, and business. Right now we're on integrity. Right, do the right thing. Can anybody? Well, I should actually say, how about this? Desiree just came from one of our other KW offices, and she was our culture ambassador in Northern California, Hawaii for the ALC and for the region. And when I say integrity, what does that mean to you, Des?
Always do the right thing. It's right there.
Right.
Well, even when no one's looking, that's why you should.
Yes.
No one's watching.
Right, do the right thing. Yes. So it's important, right, for us to be talking our values. It's very important for us to be talking about it, because it's not on our walls, as you can see, but it's part of us. It's part of our core with KW. Win-win or no deal, right? So it's things like this that keeps us in check, and that's the culture of KW. All right, welcome to the family. We were really busy last month. Yes. So Desiree, like I was saying, Desiree Alvarez, and then Talia Vasquez is her daughter.
Is it?
Yeah. What was that?
Just like my last name's Alvarez too. I'm like,
oh yes. Yeah. So very dynamic team, and so let's welcome them to the family. And there's actually, we had over I want to say 19,
20, something like that.
Yes, okay, we'll go with 20 because it sounds good. 20 people joined KW last month, so we're really excited about that. Yes. We actually did a merger with a small boutique office over in, I always have to think of what's across the street, Lot for Sausages. So we'll be celebrating shortly that office as well. And we'll do a kind of like grand opening kind of thing. And I would have to say the last 5 grand openings I've been a part of, standing room only. And so we're gonna make that happen.
We should have Lawford sauce.
Oh, definitely, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So we're excited about that. So closings, just closed, Chuck closed 3 transactions. That's amazing right now, so that's awesome. Jesse 2, Christina 2, Pam 2, Jamie 1, and then Susie 1, Chris, Josh, Jasmine, Victoria, Michael, Jeremy, Susan, Desiree, Laura, all 1. So that's exciting. Things are happening right now, you guys. The energy is out there. It's really people in contract more. I was talking with somebody today that in the beginning of the year, she was like, oh, what's it gonna be like? You know, they say this, they say that, but she is just jamming right now. So if you're doing your due diligence, if you're doing your consistent scheduling and you're following your schedule, it's going to show up. It will. It most definitely will.
I've been taking a lot of listings for my agents, processing them in, they're just getting them ready, like more so than I was during the summer and spring, so I.
That's awesome.
People are just getting ready for something.
Yeah, it's definitely happening. There's a lot of energy right now. So that's good stuff. Okay, anybody want to talk about their listing? Has anybody gotten a new listing lately? I know you've been on vacation. You've been on vacation. You just got married. So yeah, so things are happening. But if there's any new listings, let's chat them up. Go ahead, Debbie, please.
I have a listing in Arnold. It's a real nice house. It's very successful Airbnb. It is 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I think of the square footage, sorry. It's in Meadowmont area of Arnold, and the price is $599. So if you have anybody that's looking to move to, you know, get a vacation home or that sort of thing, or be in the Airbnb business, it was very successful.
Nice. They do get a lot of snow, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very.
Every year is different.
Yes, it is. That's very true. Yes, it is. All right. So is she up and ready to go? Is she on? She's not there yet. Okay. So Market Center news. So obviously you've met our new lenders, so we're very excited about that. And then tomorrow is the baseball game, River Cats, right? And what else is coming up that I can remember? You guys have a class that you're doing soon, right? Or Marissa's going to be doing. I don't know if we have any flyers after this, but let's see. We do have Vince. Vince is going to be chatting it up because we do have some exciting news about Command. So take it away, my friend.
So how many people here that are agents of KW know that you have an agent site? Okay, cool. So agent sites have been updated. So we've gone through a whole process of, not we as in I wish that was part of me, but KWI has gone through and redone the entire platform. So there's now more stuff for you to use, but there's a couple caveats to this. You can upgrade at any time you want to, but it is not reversible. So once you go and do it, you can't go back. There's no way to do it. Don't ask me, don't ask Zach. 1-800 call Gary, not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to go back. So keep that in mind. 2, any landing pages that you created in the original system. So if you have an existing page for different neighborhoods, or a page for an open house, or a page for a home valuation, those will not transfer over to the new system. They will still exist. You just need to copy the URL so that you can still use them, as in hand them out, bring them up on a screen or something like that. But you will not be able to edit them if you move over to the new system. Landing pages is going away, and they're going to be building a new type of thing for us to utilize. 2, oh my God, I ran a blank on what it was. Reviews, testimonials. If you have any testimonials that are on your site right now, those will not transfer over to the new site either. You'll need to copy and re-enter them into the system. So if you're thinking about it, let me know. I will sit down with you, go over everything. I've already transferred over, so we can look at mine real quick and get you to decide whether or not you want to do this. You don't have to do it right now. I don't think anything is going to be forced till probably next year, so we're good to go with that. So if you do use your landing pages quite often, maybe not think about doing this, but we can have conversations about that, make sure we do whatever is best for what you guys like.
So let me ask you this, if I was an agent, what would I be using my landing page for?
Some people use them for specific neighborhoods that they were experts in, so they would put up properties that were specifically for those particular neighborhoods. A home valuation tool, I use that quite often where I had a standalone page that would be for a home valuation, I would drive Facebook ads directly to that.
That's where I wanted it.
Then there was an open house sign-in sheet. There was one that I did that was landing page. This way, everything would just flow directly into command. You won't need to do that anymore because they just activated yesterday the open house sign-in page, part of the landing, part of the agent sites itself. And that's one thing that I could go over with you as well. I do know in the future a home valuation tool will be built in, probably next month it should go live.
Nice.
So they'll be adding some other stuff. Yes.
So realistically, should we just wait and maybe a couple more months until all these things get added in?
It's up
What
to
would you
you.
do? Or is it one of those things where the more people switch and use it, they'll realize how good it's functioning and working and.
So there's a big difference between the two. The new one is very much SEO, built off of SEO, so that you will be able to drive things to your page with true SEO. In this case, the old search engine optimization.
Okay.
I think Google, you type in specific words and your page comes up higher on the list rather than not. So there's things with that. You don't really get that right now in the current setup. The biggest value to our current setup is the search, where we can search pretty much 95% of the country of all the MLSs that we have access to, including outside the country as well. That search has been built stronger with a couple added features into the new agent site. The look has been updated too, so it doesn't look 5 years old, kind of like the way it looks right now. It was a little bit more updated. It really is a situation specific. For most people that use those landing pages currently, I would say no, hold off. Wait until we get a better answer to that question. If you're not using them, there's really nothing to stop you at that point because you're really not using them.
So, and then if I'm not using them and I ask you to help me to utilize this, you can actually show me the benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. We can
Right.
do a tech consult where I can sit down with you, go over the entire thing, show you what's inside the builder, because there is a new builder that you would access to do stuff. There is a new featured properties list where instead of now where you have to find the property, put the property address in, put it in, and then when it's sold, you have to go in and remove it yourself. Now you can set up a specific criteria for an area, bedroom counts, price size, and will automatically go in. And if they're sold, they automatically come out. So you never actually have to go back in and figure out and do that. There's a new blog. So there is a provided blog for you to utilize, but you can also do your own blogs. There's also attachments for YouTube videos that will play inside the page rather than redirecting to YouTube. And there's Vimeo links as well for that as well. So those couple things just went live in the past couple weeks.
That's wonderful. You guys utilize him. This is why he's here. Make appointments, go. I know you're busy this afternoon.
Yes,
Definitely.
a little bit.
Yeah, make appointments.
Absolutely.
That's
If you have any questions, you want to get my calendar link, Amanda has that as well. And,
I do too. Just text me.
Yep,
Yeah.
she has it as well, so
Yeah.
just let me know.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys, a lot of good stuff's happening. So yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, Vince.
Yep.
All right. So Ignite is back. If you need a boost, if you've been here a while, been an agent and you need to go, yeah, go. You don't need to like let me know, oh my gosh, we're going to Ignite. This is not just for new people. This is for everyone. Everyone. Okay, so make sure you get the QR code and it's on our website, our hub, right? And Amanda emails Sunday night and Monday morning, all the links right there. So sign up. Okay, this is tomorrow night. We've talked about that. First Thursday, everybody should be there, please. It's about you. It's not about me. It's about you. Networking with each other, networking with the different affiliates on the first Thursday. Make sure you come 4 to 6. Reason being, you guys, I obviously want in-house deals, right? I want you guys to know each other. If you're gonna be writing an offer on her listing, his listing, guys are talking and negotiating and making it work together. So let's get that going. All right, regional events, we're gonna whip right through all these. Goal is coming up in October is the first step. This is for everybody, not just for agents, just so you guys know. Marissa has gone a few times, just so you know. It's amazing. This coach right here, David, they spoke about him and they wanted him to come back and they got him to come back. Last year they went and I met him and he knew, I mean, I was only in the room for 20 minutes and this man knew everything about me. And I was like, who are you? I was like trying to like Google him afterwards, but it was so amazing how he did his research. So I don't know, there's something about that being said. Clearly he knows how to cultivate, right? So let's just make sure you go to the first step. It's free. Knowledge is power. And I know Debbie's going because she's already committed to me that she's going.
Well, the problem is. The business planning session with Sean is the same day.
As first.
And I paid.
As first step.
Yes,
Okay, so then you just show us to the other steps. That's okay. I don't know if we knew that going through, but it doesn't matter, right? And so if you're going to the business planning clinic, which that is a must, because we're going into the next year and whatever you do today is going to show up 90 days from now. And so I highly recommend the business planning clinic as well. So it's up to you to make the choice. And I'm talking to you guys in Zoom land. So yes. So family reunion, I'm already signed up. I'm going. Are you signed up? Des is signed up. Debbie's signing up. Lindsay's signing up. I know you guys are signing up. All right. Okay, Ashleigh, are you here on Zoom land? Are you ready to rock and roll? I want to say thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for participating and sharing. We're really excited to see what you have to share with us. So thank you. We're gonna have.
All right, I am going to get. Can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure before I launch into everything.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and share my slides with you guys. And then I know this is being recorded, so hopefully you'll be able to come on back and watch anything that you missed originally. But I'm Asheligh Gillespie. Thank you so much for having me with your team meeting here. I am very passionate about talking about social media. As we go into the next year, a lot of you may have picked up the new MREA 2 that was released at Mega Camp. If you haven't, you can order it. They are hitting social media a lot more as a part of our business. When we look at the power that it holds, not just with our spheres of influence, but also with organic reach, you get to build an audience that's your ideal client. You get to reach people for free. Sure, you can pay for advertisements, boosting posts, things like that. But the power behind social media is wild. So before I launch into the class itself, one of the biggest objections I get from people is that they get tired of making videos because they see that they're not doing all that well, quote unquote, right? They feel like they don't ever go viral. They don't ever get, enough traction, so to speak. But if you stayed, and this is going to be TikTok math here really quick. On TikTok, they call it the 200 views jail. It's when you just can't really seem to get too far above 200 views a video. But if you posted just one video, a 10, 15-second video every single day and only got 200 views over the course of a year, that'd be 73,000 people that saw you.
Ashley, hang on just for a second. We're trying to get the screen up. We can't. We're in the process of it. So give us 2 seconds.
That's all right. I'm not using the screen yet, so I'll keep going. You just tell me when you have it. That would be 73,000 people that got to see you. They got to see your brand. They got to get to know a little bit about what you stand for, what your values are, and connect with you completely free. I can't think of any other possible way to get 73,000 people to see me without spending any money. I mean, I really can't. Even if I was somebody that pounded the phones, typically you're paying for a dialer, you're paying for data. And to talk to 73,000 people on the phones, that would take a lot of work to get that done in a year. So video is so incredibly powerful. It is, I heard them talking about the agent websites, talking about SEO. Video naturally will help with your SEO. I get better Google search results simply from having TikTok accounts and YouTube Shorts accounts and things like that that are active. So that's if none of your videos ever do really go above 200 views. That's crazy. If we take that and say, okay, statistically, we know a lot of them are going to stay at 200 views, and that's okay, as long as they're speaking to the right kind of people for us. A lot of your others are going to do better than that. So you have the potential to generate these views, not just for you and your business, but for your sellers that are selling their homes and need marketing. And then that's valuable data that you can take on your listing presentation, so that when other agents are saying, yeah, we do social media, you can take your analytics and say, here's the hundreds of thousands of views I've generated from my listings. That's a really powerful statistic to be able to have and provide to people. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the 3 ways to go viral with video. It is not as much of a science as we all would like to think it is, but there is kind of an underlying strategy that every viral video has in common. We're going to go through how you can take those practices and implement them into your video creation to try and get your videos to go as far as they possibly can. Make sure we're getting the max use out of your videos. So can you all see my screen now?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so a quick recommendation here. If you haven't read Hook Point by Brendan J. Kane, he also wrote 1 Million Followers. He does social media coaching, but it's very, very expensive. I don't think I would recommend it. I've never done it, but I don't think I'd recommend it. I would recommend the book. He will go into a lot of the nitty gritty about how to create hooks that are very compelling. And primarily, we're going to talk about the platforms YouTube, TikTok, and Reels. Reels is Instagram and Facebook. All 3 of these have the capabilities for what we call short form video. That's pretty much anything under 3 minutes. Typically, they're going to be vertical facing video. So when you can hold your phone up and it's just this way, vertical, versus having to have like a camera or like really professional grade equipment. So that's what's really great about it, is that you don't need to go invest money into specific people to hire or equipment to be able to get this done. You already own everything you need. When you're thinking about wanting your videos to go viral, a lot of the people in the social media world are going to use all 3 of these platforms. But if you don't have time or energy to be doing that, just pick the platform that speaks best to your ideal client. YouTube, 73% of people that use the platform are going there in order to find something to educate them. So if you're somebody that's really passionate about educating first-time home buyers on the process, YouTube might be a better place to be posting your tips and tricks on home buying and walking them through what the process looks like and what contracts mean and things like that. That might be the best place to do it. So you might get further on YouTube than on TikTok with that kind of video. They typically will have a 3 to 3.5 minute video length, although they have rolled shorts out where you'll have something that's 15 seconds. So you can play with that. There is a lot of horizontal orientation on YouTube. If you're going to do the long form videos, it should be horizontal. That will help you a ton. And they do have a higher focus on audio quality. So if you're going to focus on YouTube, I would recommend investing at the very least AirPods. If not, like a little clip-on microphone. Doesn't have to be super expensive. Amazon has a bunch. That platform really values that type of quality. Whereas TikTok, despite having been in a lot of controversy over it's the app for kids and blah, 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 it's 800 million and growing. And I made these slides like 6 months ago, so it's probably way different by now. 30% of that 800 million are over the age of 25. So they are in prime home buying age demographics. I don't know how many people are aware of this yet, but millennials have officially reached 50% of all millennials own homes. They're in it. I mean, buying and selling. So getting to people over the age of 25, which I think 25, 26 is the millennial cutoff right now, you'll absolutely reach your target demographic if it's millennials. They did release up to 10-minute video lengths. That is actually released specifically based on the user, I believe. So if you're a brand new account, they might not let you do the 10-minute videos yet. I think it was like you have to have 1,000 followers. I forget what the cutoff is. Typically going to be vertical orientation, so it's super easy, a little bit more casual. They do value decent lighting and audio, but you do not need professional grade. If you're walking around in the city and filming, pop your AirPods in so it picks up what you're saying, things like that. Stand in front of a window with some natural light. Other than that, TikTok's very casual. It makes it so easy to make content. The other great thing about TikTok is it's really a top of the funnel with the marketing, meaning that they promote discovery. TikTok wants you to find new accounts and new content that you will like. So it is always working on the algorithm, always trying to feed you good content that you will enjoy. So it's a great place to reach new people. Unlike, when I post on Facebook, it's to connect with the people I'm friends with. I don't really go out and find new people. It's, hey, I met Bethany at a party and I want to become friends with her on Facebook. So TikTok's absolutely wonderful for discovery. Reels is the one that's on Instagram and it's on Facebook because it owns both those platforms. It's very similar to TikTok, but it will have a larger reach for an older audience. So a little more of your 40 plus categories, start getting to your elder millennials and your Gen X people. So if that's a little bit more bread and butter for you, then you might want to focus in there. They are a little slower to grab onto the trends. So if you're familiar with the idea that, there might be a TikTok trend where people are using a certain sound, a little piece of music or something like that, Instagram Reels, they're going to be behind. So if you take something from TikTok and it's trending right now and you put it on Reels, it might not do well. You want to delay it a little bit. It takes some time for it to get there. Sweet. Also, just maybe jot your questions down for the end if they come up. I'm happy to answer them and I'm sure we'll have time at the end. But yeah. So we went over some of the fundamentals with your decent light, decent audio. Again, don't let yourself get in your head about like, well, I don't have the best camera. I don't have top grade equipment. I don't have professional scripts being written for me. Like, this is not a movie production. Don't let that stop you. Just get into it, start making content. And my best advice is to start making content about what you are doing every day. Because if you try to make it this big production where it's like, I have to be wearing my best outfit, I have to have my hair done at the blow dry bar, I have to have my makeup done, and that's not how you show up every day. It's very, very difficult to make content authentically and routinely, consistently. It's just too difficult because you have other things to do in your life. We're not here to be influencers. We're here to be real estate agents with some real estate influence online. So show up authentically to what makes sense to you and doing things that you're doing. When you're in a house and you have the opportunity to grab a quick video walkthrough or show something that's really cool that you're seeing, then do that within your MLS. Every state has different rules, but within your rules there in California and all of that. But just what you're doing as a real estate agent, what you're, film inside your home. You don't need to be in a like big fancy production studio with a great backdrop. It does not matter. Do stick to using the trending audios. This is easy on TikTok because they create a little function on the music buttons that says, here's what's viral right now. So you can just pick something that's viral. But if you just use like really stale elevator music, your videos just aren't going to do as well. Try and use what's trending right now. And then the hooks. So we're going to talk a lot about hooks. Hooks, if you're not familiar with them, they're that initial, you have like less than a second to get somebody to stop.
Ashleigh,
Yeah.
excuse me just a moment. Is your slide supposed to be moving with you? Because it's not.
Oh, not yet.
Okay, because we only have to see 3 ways to go. Is that what we're supposed to do?
That's what you're seeing right now? That's weird.
Uh-huh.
It is supposed to be going a little bit.
Okay. Good call.
So right now it's supposed to be on a fundamentals. And
No,
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's see here if we can do this. Resume. Oh, it must have paused at some point when something got. All right, I'm gonna stop it and redo it here.
So you guys, while she's doing this, I want you to, on YouTube, look for Nagi Manpreet Nagi. She does everything off her phone and she has an enormous amount of followers. And like YouTube will constantly reach out to her to do things as well because she has so many followers. She did about 40 million last year in volume and she contributes a lot to her YouTube channel.
Yeah. the stories of production people are coming out. I know people that do YouTube and they routinely are getting over 10 million directly from their YouTube, free, unpaid. They're just making
Right.
YouTube videos. And it's, not everybody loves making content, and that's okay if that's not you, but a lot of people just enjoy it. You get to be creative, you get to have fun. I mean, it's a different way to lead generate. So yeah, absolutely try and follow a few agents that like you enjoy what they're doing, and that would make sense for you to do as well, because it'll help you with your creativity. Okay, I think it's working now.
We're on fundamental.
Yep, we're on fundamentals.
Perfect.
So the hooks, one of the mistakes I see with more on TikTok and the short form content is taking the time to say, hey guys, Asheligh Gillespie here with Keller Williams Integrity Real Estate out of Denver, Colorado. They're gone. They already left the video. A lot of these are 15 seconds, 30 seconds. You just don't have the time to do the introductions. I know California has some rules that Colorado might not about licenses. You can add that in a text on the screen so that you're in compliance if it's required, but you don't need to say it verbally. Throw it in the text, in the caption, do something like that so that you can skip straight to the hook. Why are people going to stay and watch your video? What are you going to talk about? Get it to them really quick. So skip the verbal introduction. I have seen people say, here's the top 3 mistakes you're going to make when you go to buy your home. And then the next clip is them saying, I'm Asheligh Gillespie. I'm a real estate agent here in Denver, Colorado with Keller Williams. And then they go into it. It's not for me. I don't love it. But if you're just like, I need an introduction, I got to do it, I would recommend doing it that way. So that's the core thing about hooks. Just get somebody to know what to expect from this video in an interesting way. Think about like when clickbait articles were really popular and they would just make you like, I have to know. I know it's clickbait, but I just have to read what they said in this article. That's kind of what we're going for. Okay, so the very first, there's gonna be 3 ways, right? So the very first way to ensure your video is going to do well is to do something that's controversial. This is not for everybody, because if you're gonna be controversial, you are inviting the haters. The internet is just wild. No matter what you say, you could be like, I love blueberries, and somebody on the internet is just gonna pick a fight with you sometimes. But when you're being controversial intentionally, you are doing this on purpose. You are trying to bait people to argue with you because you know it's going to do well. If people are in your comments arguing, it's boosting you up in the algorithm to be seen again and again and again. So that's the point behind being controversial. This does not mean you need to be political or really adversarial, but think of it of things like you're making a very strong declaration. You're saying something is kind of a hot take. You might be kind of psyching people out by saying like, the housing market is going to crash. And then you're like, psych, it's not, here's why. And you share all the market data for your area on why the housing market's still going strong. So that's a way to be controversial. People will absolutely sit in your comments all day long and argue about the market. Great way to get your video to do well. But yeah, I would still avoid politics, religion, anything that is truly quite sensitive to people, that will go nuts. So it can seem, counterproductive, like, well, I don't want people to be mad at me online, but they're going to be arguing anyways. You can still do it in a way that's very respectful. If something ever gets too much, you can always delete and block people that are just being rude for no reason. But for the most part, if somebody's leaving me a hate comment, they're like, you're the stupidest realtor I've ever met, the market's absolutely going to crash, I'm absolutely going to respond to them, either with a video response or I'm going to comment back. I'm going to use that to get more engagement. So it takes a little bit of a thick skin. And you can always delete a video if you feel like this is not for me, I didn't like that. But, as I'll show you my example here. But another example is Patrick Brussel is a KW agent in Boston who does a lot from TikTok. I think so far he's at 11 million this year from TikTok alone, all free. And I tagged him in a restaurant that was getting just destroyed online because they were getting in a fight with somebody who owns a very popular online community. And he did a video about it. He generated over 300,000 likes, and he texted me at one point and was like, this is getting a little intense. And he considered taking it down. He didn't, and he ended up getting over 3,000 followers just from that one topic alone, talking about a pizza restaurant in Boston. and he talks about food a lot. One of the ways he will be intentionally controversial with his videos on food is he will say, this is the best sandwich ever in Boston. And he has that title often. These are the best donuts in Boston. That is controversial because people are going to come in your comments and be like, that's ridiculous. Have you ever even been to XYZ restaurant? So lots of different ways to take this. My video here's going to be an example of how you can be controversial with a real estate specific video. This one, I'd have to look it up if it's changed, if it's gotten more views since, but that one had 18,500 views, 817 likes, 78 comments, 7 shares, 7 saves, 8 shares. So, I mean, it just invites people to interact with your video, and that is what you want. So this works well on TikTok because it's millennials. And what are millennials fighting about? That they can't buy a home. That is like their number one thing. We can't afford it. So anytime I talk about you could stop renting, it's basically controversial, even though they could stop renting if they knew more about it. So that is an example of how you can take it to real estate. There's lots of different ways to tailor that if you think about who your client is that you want to talk to. If you think about like a Gen X person, you got to walk through like, what are their struggles? What is it they care about? That's how you're going to appeal. And you want to cultivate the people that you want to follow you when you're thinking about, I want this video to go viral. Because if the wrong video goes viral for the wrong reasons, you're going to attract a bunch of people that will follow you that actually don't care about what you talk about. If I got a bunch of like, let's say Gen X people following me, and then I'm posting a bunch of millennial content, they're like, I don't care about this person. And now I've got a bunch of people that follow me that don't care. I'm not building a community. They're not going to transact with me. That's not what I want. So you want to be a little wary of that when you're posting, and with especially with that intention of like, let's try to go viral.
What do you mean my card?
Okay. The next one is going to be relatable. This one is fun because it's kind of the niche I love to live in, is being relatable. It's where I get to be more humorous, more lighthearted, anything where you can get people to think about how they react. They should laugh. They should be like, oh my God, this is so me. Like, I've been there. It can also be inspiring. I don't love doing the inspiring version of relatable because oftentimes it feels a little braggy to me. But if you have a really compelling story of like, you know, I know that we have agents in KW that used to be homeless and have built their way into these great big businesses and have these great charities that they're giving back to. That's a story that absolutely should be shared. That's something that people relate to, even if they don't relate to the end piece. If they relate to your struggles and your work to overcome those, that's a relatable piece of content. It really creates connection with people. You want people to feel like they relate to you. They know you. They call it parasocial relationships, but they almost feels like you're on FaceTime with people sometimes. And you want them to feel that way because they already feel like they know, like, and trust you. So when it comes time for them to buy or sell or to recommend a real estate agent, they're like, yeah, you have to use Asheligh. She's amazing. And they've never even met you. It's crazy. So this is an example one. I've updated, this one is just from yesterday, and took me all of 5 seconds to record, 23,000 views, 700 likes, 9 comments, 4 saves, 17 shares. So think about that amount of reach in something. I was sitting at my kitchen table. I didn't go and do anything special. It didn't take time. This was just a trending audio, and I found a way to spin it into real estate.
Declined. Try to get. Buy me back.
So super easy. Took me no time at all. And again,
So where do you find the trending audio such as that? I know the music, where you find the music, but this part, I don't know. Where do you find that?
Unfortunately, spending way too much time on TikTok is probably the number one answer. I send out an email. If you want to get on it, you can I'll show my Instagram at the end. My link tree has a way to sign up, or you can DM me your email and I'll add you to it. I send out an email with a couple of the trends for the week so that you can hop on them. But for the most part, if I'm scrolling, and like this one, I was eating lunch, I scrolled through, I saw this trend for probably like the 5th time, and it just kind of clicked that like, oh, I could do it this way and it would be real estate related. So I just filmed it really quick on the fly.
Got it.
And of course, it's the one from the day that I put the least thought into that got the most reach. So
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. But being educational is probably where a lot of us are the most comfortable with video. A lot of us want to help people understand home buying, home selling, some of the processes and intricacies with real estate. And it can feed into things like you can be educational and controversial. You can be educational and relatable, or you can just be straight educational. You're standing in front of a camera and saying, here are the top 3 reasons you should buy a home. So it can be anything from, life hacks. I saw a great one a real estate agent did that was about dishwashers and how they that you can lower them or raise them. It's something like a little hack on how you can fit your dishes in the dishwasher. And they got over 2 million views. I've seen it happen with like how to drain your water heaters, really just simple things. Expectation versus reality. This is perfect for again, if you're doing like millennials and you're saying expectations of home ownership versus reality, those can be educational and humorous. But again, thinking about your ideal client at the end of the day, what are they going to care about and think about? Do not get caught up in the idea that like everyone knows that. I always feel like I see so many real estate agents because I interact with so many real estate agents that I'm like, everybody talks about the fact that you can buy a home with no down payment. Everybody knows that. But they don't. They do not know that. Not everyone does. So don't stop yourself and think like that's super common sense. Why would I make a video about that? Somebody out there needs that education. So it can be basic. It doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, usually the more basic it is, the easier it is to make a video about it. It's really difficult to take 30 seconds to explain how FHA loans work. It's really easy to do the math on what 3.5% down looks like. So home repair, real estate investing always does pretty well. Buy, sell tips, day in the life stuff. This is what a day in the life of a real estate agent in California is like, or say your town specifically. I really like doing neighborhood specifics. So if you have like a really well-known named neighborhood, you can say you're a real estate agent in that neighborhood for that video, because people will look up like in Colorado, we have Wash Park. So they'll look up Wash Park real estate agents and I'm all over that hashtag. That's where I live. So people will see me there all the time. And they're like, she's just the neighborhood expert. So you can always tag it that way. And this is an example video I did that was a kind of expectation versus reality thing.
That's fair.
So again, super easy. I'm obviously not very dolled up in that. Wearing a super casual outfit, happened to be outside of a showing early, popped my phone up and took that video. Not a lot of hard work that had to go into that to get 1.5 million views, tons of likes, followers, subscribers. I mean, and it was perfect for my people that are millennials that are interested in what it's like to be a real estate agent, not necessarily because they are going to be one. Millennials are just really obsessed with real estate. So we're kind of an easy demographic to hit. And I really, my ideal audience is women. I want women to follow me online. They interact with my content best. They like my content. They resonate with like the pink that I wear and the way that I talk. So that just works really well for me. Anything that's going to get women to view my content is much better. Another example is there's a woman in, I think it's Indiana, and she specializes in like unique properties. That's kind of her niche. She did a tour of a really cool, really well-preserved mid-century modern and had 3.5 million views. Just walking through, filming a few kind of, slow pan footage of this mid-century modern. And she, I think she's probably at like 130,000 followers. She does a lot of her, I don't think she's KW, but she, is a great example of somebody that said, this is my niche. I like unique properties. And she is kind of a quirky, like, I think she's a little bit of purple in her hair. And it just kind of, it all makes sense. And that's one of the things you really want is that who you are in your real life makes sense. You just have to get comfortable showing that online. Okay, so we'll walk through a couple other examples of the hooks to try. So back to the be controversial. You'll never be able to buy your first home if you can't start doing this. What's great about hooks is that they're kind of a formula. So it's you'll never blank if you can't blank, and then you just fill it in every single week. You'll never sell your home if you can't do blank. You'll never buy your home. You'll never stop renting. You'll never buy an investment property. There's tons of different ways you can take this. And the other thing is you can do the same hooks. Like if you're going to post every single day, it's insane to think that 365 for the rest of your life is going to be a brand new original idea. We know as real estate agents, sometimes when you're teaching like a brand new agent something, you have to say the same thing numerous ways before they hear it. It's the same thing with people online. You might say the exact same thing, just a little bit differently, and suddenly it's clicked for them. So don't be afraid to repeat and, every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it is, if you're just like, Monday, I use this hook here and I say something a little bit different, but not that different. You can repost the exact same video. That works too. Like it is totally fine. Content lives and dies really quickly these days. So nobody's going to be like, excuse me, you posted that exact video 3 months ago. Like, what are you doing? Nobody's going to think it. So don't be afraid to reuse, recycle, reduce, all that stuff. Another example, what big banks don't want you to know about buying your first home. Again, something you can very much fill in the blank. What blank doesn't want you to know about blank. What home inspectors don't want you to know about buying your first home. What home inspectors don't want you to do. Like what insurance companies don't want you to know. Like these, especially there's tons of stuff going on with home insurance right now and fires and hurricanes, floods, all sorts of stuff. Tons of great information to give. The secret to buying a home and never paying a mortgage. And a lot of these are very educational. You could spin these into a straight, a declaration to be a little bit more controversial if you wanted. But again, it's really a tone to be controversial than it is like an opinion that is like really going to make people mad. You know what I mean? Being relatable. These are a few examples here. What do real estate agents eat for breakfast? And if you wanted to take this on a very humorous route, then you cut to a bowl of nails and it's like, because we're really tough, we eat nails for breakfast. Like, or you can really just do it very like straight up. What do real estate agents eat for breakfast? And then it's, a really great full breakfast because you need lots of energy because you're not going to be eating a real meal again until 7 p.m. POV, if you don't know what that means yet, it's a really handy one to know. It's point of view. So point of view is that this is what you would be experiencing. You hired me as your realtor, and then you just took a clip some point in your day that shows what it's like to work with you. You're laughing with a client, you're sitting in a meeting, you're taking notes, you're working hard on your computer, you're on your phone, anything that you feel represents you. Another example would be something like reading my DMs, direct messages. You can share emails or texts as long as they are, you have enough information redacted and you maybe have permission from clients. This is great, especially when you're working with like those funny clients that you guys just have hilarious text exchanges. We always love when we get those clients. So being able to share something like that is perfect for being relatable. It really gives people an idea of connecting with you and like, this is what it would be like and what my experience would be like if I worked with Ashleigh. Lastly, your educational ones. So I wish I had known these 3 things before I bought my home. You can see how these are a little bit less clickbaity, like the controversial educational topics. They're a little bit more like, let me explain this to you. Let me walk you through this. Not like, if you don't know this, something bad's going to happen. How to save money when you sell your home. Is the Denver housing market crashing? What's it like to live in Wash Park? The best walkable neighborhoods in Southern California. You know what I mean? So just very, laid back. So this is basically your virality formula. If you want your videos to do the best that they can, give them a good chance with the lighting and audio. Don't have the sun behind you if you're outside, because then your face has a bunch of shadows on it. Turn around, get in some good natural light. Decent enough audio that they can hear you. Use some sort of hook and add some sort of value. you can't give them the hook and then not give them the value. If you say these are the top 3 ways to ruin your home sale, and then you just kind of say nothing, they're not going to interact with you. You got to give them something, something to talk about. Like, you know, I saw one, Tat Landano. I think she's in Florida and she's huge. And I think she runs a brokerage and everything too. And hers were the top 3 reasons your home won't sell. Number 1, it's haunted. Number 2, it's next to a cemetery. Like, that is stuff people are like interested in talking about. Those are interesting things to talk about. So there is some value there. And that is your content. Content and consistency is what's going to get you growth. One viral video is not going to be the secret to success and the secret to having long-term business from being on social media. So don't stress yourself. If they're not going viral, honestly, you're not hurting yourself. We just want to make sure we give our videos the best chance possible to get as much reach and get to our ideal clients so that we can build a community. That's what I'm always going back to. I'm trying to build a community where people feel valued, respected, like they can come to my comments with questions and they trust the answer that they're going to get from me. You will always increase your reach if you happen to follow a trend. Don't force yourself. Like that one I showed you where I happened to be on a trend that was going on right now. Had I forced it into something that didn't really make sense, didn't really work with the trend, it's just not going to help you that much. Those trends are perfect for when it just clicks. And the way it clicks is if you just keep doing it, consistent with video over time, you'll just kind of start feeling it. I love this with Ryan Serhant. He's obviously huge on social media. I recommend following him. I don't think he's super on it with TikTok yet, but he is in YouTube and things like that. When people think you're crazy, it's just because they don't have the courage to do what you're doing. I have agents reach out to me all the time. They ask me to look at a video for them before they post it because like, I just feel like I'm very embarrassing myself. Like I'm cringy. Like, I don't know. I can't get over myself. We all honestly feel that way. And it's the best way to know you're doing it right. Like if you don't go through a little cringy phase, then you're never going to get to the other side of it. So embrace it, embrace the courage. If you guys want to find me, I'm that realtor on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. So you can find me, you can connect with me. My link tree in my Instagram bio has lots of helpful little links for you. So feel free to check that out as well. And I am open to any questions.
Anybody have any questions? So that was really good. We really, really appreciate this. Okay, yeah, I had to see that. I couldn't see from way back there. So yeah, what apps do you recommend or what do you use? Application.
That's a great one. The biggest app I use is called CapCut.
Yeah, I use that. Somebody told me about that. Thank you.
It's free. It's a video editor and it's simple and easy to use. I am predominantly TikTok, so I do post more content there than anywhere else. But TikTok puts a watermark on your videos. So if I know I'm going to be sharing this video in numerous places, I want a version that has no watermark. I'll make it in CapCut. Some of the editing is a little easier in CapCut. So if it's a more complicated editing video, I do it in CapCut. The other reason I will like it is because a lot of times the video I'm shooting is in my regular camera. So I'm just like, if I'm doing a video walkthrough at a home, I'm not going to open up TikTok, record it in TikTok. I'm just going to do it on my camera, go home and then edit it later. So that's another great way to use CapCut is for those things. If I make a video on TikTok that does better than I was expecting and I decide I want to share it somewhere else, I use this website called SnapTik. So snap and then tik.com. It's another free one. You just copy and paste the link to your TikTok and it will pop up a version that has no watermark on it. And it works like 98% of the time. Sometimes for some reason I can't grab it. And so then I can download that, go put it wherever I need it. The other websites, I don't know if they have something in the algorithm that can detect it, but your videos won't do as well if you have the watermark sitting there. So if I'm going to do I hate doing it. I really hate the extra step, But if I'm gonna do the work of putting it on another platform, I'm gonna try and do it the right way. So I try to pull that watermark off when I can. Sometimes the audio, my biggest pet peeve is the audio from my TikTok won't translate to Instagram. That's a big problem for me. So you have to be aware of that and just make sure you watch your video and make sure it's looking right is all. It's not the end of the world, but it drives me nuts. So those are just the biggest ones that I use. Your iPhone, there's lots of tips and tricks if you're an iPhone user on how to make sure your quality is great. If you're on video, your back camera, so this one, not the front camera, the back camera is better quality. And then I don't know if it'll do this correctly. It probably won't. But there's a little thing at the top right that says HD. And if you click it, it changes to 4K. And that's a better quality.
Got it.
And there's tons of tips and tricks on that. As far as you can always look those up on YouTube. I don't get too in the weeds with it again, because I don't want to get my head and be like, well, I really need to make sure that this is the perfect quality before I am all about imperfect action over perfect procrastination. So I would
There you go. Yeah.
upload a fuzzy video.
Yeah, I like that saying. That was great. So how long have you been with KW?
Almost 10 years. If I finish out one more year, that'll be 10 years.
There you go. And so what office are you from? If we had a referral, how do we get a hold of you?
I am
You're-
right in the heart of Denver. So I am a Denver girly through and through. Downtown, Wash Park, Cherry Creek, those are our main areas. I service the entire metro. So we kind of call it the Metro Front Range. So Denver and the surrounding areas.
Beautiful. It's our way of thanking you for coming on and sharing all your knowledge. Is there one thing that we haven't asked or that you've been thinking, gosh, Ryan, I should have shared that? Is there anything pending in your brain right now you're like, you need to share with us?
You guys had great questions. I don't think there's anything that is completely missing. The only thing I love hearing is that someone's going to leave this room and make a video today. They're going to go, they're going to post that video. They're just going to start and just get it going.
Well, I think they should tag you and say thank you. So I appreciate you. Yes, right? So thank you so much for showing up and sharing.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. Anybody over there in Zoom, was there any questions on Zoom? Anybody have any questions over there? Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. All right, you guys, make it